Yeah. Okay, anyone who's in chat here, how are things now? I think I just got everything fixed. Okay. So I'm back in the green, so we're good to go. Sorry about the delay there. So this stream is not going well, but I want to say when I was playing games with this in like the practice rooms, I won every single game I played, or every single match I played, I think. Things have gone poorly at a couple of key points in this, and I've definitely made some errors. But I think that the deck is a little bit better than how it is looking on stream right now. Like, my anti-opponent in match 1 top-decked the Infernal Tutor to go off when I otherwise was going to be able to do a lot of, like, very powerful things on the following turn. You know, my Miracles opponent played like crap, and I just couldn't capitalize on it. If I had gone Courser, Land, Tracker, it would have been down a clue, but gotten 2 creatures on the board and been in the same count on cards. So I only would have gotten one of those cards off of Miri's Guile. So if I go Courser and then Land, like, that's one creature on the board per turn. Right? So I don't know whether or not the more immediate play of, like, Tracker, Crack, Clue, get another card is better or not. So I think I like what I did. Yeah, whatever. I'll keep a Bob hand. Okay. So, if my opponent doesn't have Swords to Plowshares right here, I'm in really good shape. So Titania is absolutely insane against D&T. So that card will probably do dirty, dirty things. Ah, what a bully. Opponent's a bully. Courser? Sure. Sweet, another Bob. It's a nice turn I get to play Bob and Veteran Explorer. And I have this nice fat butt here. D&T has trouble getting through 4 toughness. Hey, Army Athalia, welcome. Okay, there should be nothing that punishes me for an attack. So I will go ahead and make one. Oh man, am I lagging again already? Oh, trigger. Thank you, Zolnox. I figured it out. My trigger was right on top of my library, so I just didn't notice it at first. I don't really know what to do with this. Like it's in the way everywhere. Man, no 2-drops for my opponent. So I have some tireless trackers. Do I want to attack? If my opponent has Mirren Crusader, I don't really want to lose Bob or Courser to it. If I attack with Veteran Explorer and my opponent blocks, I don't care, but they won't block. I think I'd rather have Veteran Explorer for some ground-based creature that would crash in. So I think I go no attacks. Really hoping my opponent does not have Mirren Crusader, though. Alright, Wisp isn't that scary. Ooh, poor play opponent. So that could be a great opportunity to just, like, get a clue there. So if my opponent just gets rid of the clue, I don't have 2 mana to draw it. Kill my Veteran Explorer. You know you want planes. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, this is obnoxious. Palace Jailer. Okay, that's annoying. So notice that I waited until here to draw my card so that Tireless Tracker would get the +1/+1 counter. Alright, so there's no counters on this. So that's nice. But I'll probably use that on their turn. So I can go 5 for Titania, return Misty, crack Misty, get an Elemental. And if I'm going to Golgari Charm, I actually don't want to get Dryad Arbor. So I'll get Forest. Yeah, that's a pretty obligatory block. Flicker Wisp, target Palace Jailer. So you want to get another one of my creatures. Damn, actually, I should have gotten the Dryad Arbor because I would have gotten another Elemental out of the deal. Yeah, I totally should have gotten the Dryad Arbor. Would have had one more Elemental on board. Yeah, messed up. Thought about value in the wrong way, chat. Dear opponent. Ooh, my Titania's gone, not my Tireless Tracker. Yeah, there's some interesting things going on with this deck list. So Echo, GP Richmond is this coming weekend. But otherwise, I'm doing well. My opponent is going to be in a considerable deal of trouble. If I draw something like a Toxic Delusion, I can get through their board. What are you gonna do? Port me? Make me draw with a clue right now? That's fine. I will do so. Beta counterspell. The deck list is immediately below the stream in the description. That edict is not bad. And crop rotation for a Caracas. Phyrexian Tower doesn't really do much. Valoreth Stronghold doesn't really do much right now. Okay. So I can attack in with this. If my opponent goes and blocks with Flicker Wood. Okay, yeah. So playing Quirion Ranger doesn't do anything. There is no link to it, Beta Counterspell. It's just a giant list. Scroll down. Alright, so I'm just going to pass the turn. I might Edict them. Like, crop rotation is also an option. But I'm probably just likely to crop rotation into clues. Like, crop rotation into fetch land. Okay. So my opponent is showing no blockers. That doesn't mean they have no blockers, but they're showing none. Okay. Alright, opponent. Do you have a 3-drop? That's annoying. So I guess I can just crop rotation, get a fetch land. Actually, I might want to wait on that. This is likely to get bounced. I can just play Quarian Ranger, bounce it, and just like use Quarian Ranger's body. Okay. Untap. Play land. Get clue. Not crack clue, though, because if my opponent flicker wisps this, I want to have a clue up so that 2 Jitte counters can't kill it. They would have to use 3. Yeah, that's superior. And then I can also leave up crop rotation as well. So my opponent has Flicker Wisp. So probably unless my opponent messes up, I can't win. This is a good start. Cabal Therapy, target you. This obligates my opponent to now blink my Tireless Tracker. Oh my god, Source of Plowshares as well. I guess this buys me time. Alright, what am I the most scared of my opponent having? Marin Crusader. Alright, they have a Thalia. That is irrelevant. So I can take it. So I could take their Thalia and then play my Vindmare. Because I guess I'm not doing anything else with this mana. Like, the Thalia Caracas stuff is kind of annoying on the other side. Alright, opponent. So now I go land, Vindmare. Alright, let's see if my opponent can math. If my opponent can math, I die. If they just, like, equip both pieces of equipment to creatures, that is exactly 14 damage. That's unfortunate. So many of my opponent's Palace Jailer draws were incredibly good for them to hang on to the crown in the face of everything that I had. Sort of unfortunate for me. But I get all this crap for both sideboard games, so probably going to be rough for them. Generally speaking, I like all these tools that I have access to. I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to do in terms of sideboarding. I don't want Bojuka Bog. Like, I know my opponent plays Wasteland, and Crop Rotation can be very good against that. But I'm kind of leaning towards taking those out. The Quirion Ranger portion of the engine where I just bounce my own lands is probably not something that I need to do. And I can probably, like, cut on this Exploration as well, and that would give me 61 without cutting any of the, like, core cards other than Quirion Ranger. Like, I could see cutting one of, like, Wingmare or Chameleon Colossus. Like, those aren't particularly amazing or anything. But I'm getting so much removal that it's probably fine to just keep the fat. This is not a fantastic hand, but I'm going to keep it because I think if my opponent just leads on, like, Swords to Plowshares as Veteran Explorer so that it doesn't get out of control, then this Tireless Tracker will be around to do work. So now I'll just play Verdant Catacombs and pass. If my opponent plays a creature and I have the option to Diabolic Edict, I basically would just will this turn for tempo reasons. Alright, so my opponent gets Jitte. Actually, what if I Edict myself right here? I could Edict myself, get rid of my Veteran Explorer, have 4 lands in play, use 3, Tireless Tracker, play... nah, that's probably not worth it. I'm going to put them on not having second Swords to Plowshares and play this out. So many clues. No, like, essentially, if I deluge there, I essentially get to draw 4 cards off of those clues. So I get a 2-for-1 off the deluge, plus accelerate myself, plus get a bunch of clues. I also have approximately 1 billion sweepers, so I'm very likely to find another quickly. So I can probably use my mana more efficiently than they can use their mana. Batterskull. Well, bad news for you, buddy. I'm just going to get way bigger than that. And I have a Rex Sage to find. And they've given up hope. So Ichiban, usually I play Death and Taxes, and Elves is basically an unwinnable matchup. It's like, probably, realistically, 30-70 or maybe 20-80 in favor of Elves. So, for my normal deck, yes, it really is that bad. I'll keep this. Like, Amiri's Guile will let me just keep finding my super impactful cards. So even though this hand's very slow, I'm fine with that. Alright, so this is very good. So I don't want Tower. I do want these other cards. I'm going to take the... It doesn't matter. I'm going to take the other one next turn regardless. I'm going to put the Deluge in my hand on the off chance that something goes wrong and I don't get one of these cards for some reason. No, I'm not going to play D&T tonight. I've got, I think, one more match left with this, and then that'll be the end of this stream. Batterskull. So I'm going to take out this Vial now, and then on my turn, I'll use the Toxic Deluge to clean up the entire board. And I can Deluge for 4 as well, just paying more than I need to so that Batterskull can't come down. Brightling is a great magic card. Card's very, very powerful. It will see a lot of legacy play. I can promise you that. This Massacre is great. So I'll probably do that next turn. I can Cabal Therapy away their Batter Skull if I want. But I think I just... Actually, no, that's... I can't both Cabal Therapy away Batter Skull and make a land drop. Wait, yes I can. So let's stack this. Yeah, okay. So I'll draw my Therapy, put a land on top. Alright, so they have Revoker and Swords to Plowshares, which is annoying. So I guess I need... So if the Swords to Plowshares this, then they can like connect with Sword, and I don't want that to happen. So I guess I should just like Massacre this away. It's super low value, though. If I Massacre this away, my opponent can't hit me this turn. Then they'll probably like Swords to Plowshares this and play a Revoker. Yeah, I think I need to protect my life total here. Is this my 4th round? I feel like this is my 4th round. I don't know that I can check that currently. Ooh, yeah. Fetching the Arbor to Flashback Therapy would have been really good. So, like, conceptually in my mind, though, end step fetching Dryad Arbor as an Ambush Viper was kind of my plan. So, like, this is still going to trade, like, the Dryad Arbor is still going to trade with the Revoker, just in a different way. And this potentially gives me the chance to take the Monarch crown back if I get a removal spell, which I did. So unless their draw was Swords to Plowshares, I am now the pretty princess. So my opponent could have avoided this by just like leaving Wasteland up on their turn, but they didn't. So Veteran Explorer is actually pretty good. Because I can go Veteran Explorer, sack it, therapy them for something, just get some more land drops. But maybe I should do... I don't really have time to think about this properly. Actually, maybe I should just go land. If I just go land, then I just go, like, land Chameleon Colossus, and that checks their board, and then next turn, I can do the Veteran Explorer, Phyrexian Tower, like, yeah. So even though my opponent has equipment, me sitting back behind the Monarch is approximately the same as them getting Jitte counters. Because, like, if they pay 4 mana and equip both of their things... Okay, Sarah Avenger is really good. Alright, so... Okay, what does Deed do? Deed gets pretty much all of their crap. Maybe actually all of their crap. I'm not going to count yet. I'm just going to do it. Don't really have time to count. I assume this gets me to 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So now their equipment's gone. I'm the Monarch. I'm about to play double Tireless Tracker and be clocking them with a 4/4. And I will actually just be presenting lethal here. because Chameleon Colossus can go and double its power. Alright, I have one more of these left, but I'm going to take a minute and run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I'm back for our final round with this deck. So good evening, my name's Phil Gallagher, I run Thraben University. Today we're playing with something a little bit strange. We are playing with sort of a green-black, Nick-Fit, tireless tracker brew that I've been a pretty big fan of. So, Solnox, to give you a short version now, I had a lot of fun with this deck when I was playing with it previously, and my results were much, much better than what I'm seeing tonight. Like, I kind of had some bad beats tonight. I kind of was unlucky at a few parts. I've certainly made my share of mistakes. But, like, when I was just going and, like, playing against Blue-Black Death Shadow, because I played against that deck, like, 4 times while I was practicing, I just crushed the ever-loving crap out of it, because, like, they couldn't beat Chameleon Colossus, Vine Mare, or Tireless Tracker. So I like the tools that this deck can bring to the table. I just feel like I've been on the wrong side of some stuff tonight. Alright. I am on the play. What does my hand do? My hand plays turn 1 Miri's Guile, turn 2 Bojuka Bog and essentially do nothing, and then turn 3 Lily Last Hope. I have a lot of tools for a fair matchup. If I'm paired against something like a Delver deck, this is actually pretty good. And I can actually use my Miri's Guile to find an untapped land for turn 2. So I am going to go ahead and keep this. Arkin, thank you very much for hosting. And I'm going to get the Forest. I do not want to get Wastelanded with this hand. More D&T. I don't want this exploration. I'll take my Misty here. And I'm just going to play... I think I'm going to play Tap Bojuka Bog. Actually, maybe I should just fetch and decay this Vial. I'm just going to say, like, the heck... I know I said I didn't want to get Wastelanded, but... sometimes the D&T players keep very bad hands on the strength of Aether Vial, and if that's the case and my opponent doesn't have Wasteland, then I'm going to be pretty favored from here on out. Alright, yeah, I don't particularly care about that. Do I just want to make another land drop? I can still make a land drop with Bojuka Bog. So I think I want to go Eternal Witness, Verdant, Veteran Explorer. Play this Veteran Explorer out. Bojuka Bog away that Evil Vial. And pass the turn. Oh yeah, I feel like this deck is very good against D&T. Like the deck with like Pulse, Decay, Edict, Lily. All right, Alice Jailer. That again. That's getting Cabal Therapy to wade this turn. Opponent, what a nice hand you have. Oh my god. Oh no, never mind. Sorry. For a second there I thought they had two Palace Jailers, but it was revealed twice. Alright. So now, flashback Cabal Therapy. Target you. Pay 1 mana. Sacrifice 1 green boy. I think we're going to name Sarah Avenger here. And I think it's going to be pretty good. Opponent is left with snow-covered plains and wasteland. Deal. And I can't cast this Edict or the Collected Brutality because of Thalia, but that's fine. So I'm not going to cast any of this turn. Hey, Grixis Leader. Matt Robert, if you scroll underneath the stream, it is listed there in one of the boxes. And my opponent scoops it up. So let's more or less sideboard the same way as we did last round when we played against D&T, because, you know, it's the same matchup. So I think we have, like, 6 cards. So last time I took out crop rotations and explorations. I think I took out the Quirion Rangers. And what was the last card I cut? Bojuka Bog. There we go. Perfect. So now we have like Massacre, Deed, Marsh Casualties, 2 Toxic Deluge, Liliana, Golgari Charm, Decay, Edict, Collected Brutality. I'll keep this. So we have a Veteran Explorer opener that follows into Bob. I 100% want to be able to play Bob on turn 2, so in order to do that, I need to get a Forest here. I mean, I don't watch Twitch on mobile. I don't know what it looks like on mobile. Apologies to mobile users. Okay, how do I want to go about navigating this turn? I can, like, Titania and make a 5/3. I can Eternal Witness. I can Edict them. Edict them seems weak. Play Courser, try to get a little deeper. I can just, like, start the Tireless Tracker engine. And just play out another Bob. Could go, like, Tracker, Land, Bob, and just, like, play heavily to the board. I think to get out of this spot, I'm going to need to, like, find a sweeper. Individual removal isn't going to do a bunch anymore. I could also just E-Wit, get back Veteran Explorer, play Land and Veteran Explorer, and, like, potentially just fuel out more lands. No, I don't want to play Titania in the face of the opposing Caracas right now. Oh, that's annoying. That's going to get Jitte and just, like, destroy my board. Why? Do you already have Jitte? Because if you don't already have Jitte, I feel like you've just made a terrible error. You have a Stoneforge Mystic. You could have cheated on 2 mana there. And now you're not getting, like, guaranteed equipment hit this turn? Wow. So my opponent made some mistakes this turn. So I'm just going to block this here. And I'm fine with taking this amount of damage. And I'm going to try to draw into something nice with my bobs. Pernicious deed, you say? Toxic deluge, you say? Okay. Well, that hurt a little bit. So, I can cast Deed. Deed for 1. I can cast Deed. Pass. Chump block this and this with bobs. Assuming my opponent doesn't know how Mother of Runes works. Which might be a fair assumption. Because I'm just dead if my opponent goes, like, protection from one color on Thalia. How do I get out of this? Like, drawing the Deed and the Deluge both off bobs was a little rough. Because, like, if I had hit, say, a land with one of those bobs, I'd be at 9. Then I could Deluge for 3 and still, like, take a hit from Gideon without dying. So in order to not die, I need to present a green body, preferably multiple green bodies. So that might mean that this turn, my play is Titania. No, because of Thalia, I can't Deluge and then Edict, unfortunately. Oop, Thalia attacks. Remember it for the other 7 cards that I talk about it. Forget about it for the therapy that I literally don't care about. My opponent has a flyer. This was all moot anyway. What are you doing? Like, there's 2 clearly better targets sitting on the table here. Like, I'm just dead on board, so it doesn't matter. But, like, there's nothing that I can cast for 1 mana due to Thalia. So Arkin, the reason that I didn't take Arbor off that fetch was because in all likelihood, for me to win this game, I'm going to have to sweep the board, and I can't afford to get rid of one of my lands by doing so. So this hand's already kind of a mulligan with Dryad Arbor. Alright, what are the benefits of this hand? It's essentially like, am I willing to keep a hand on the strength of Bob? Yes. Bob's really good. Like if they have Swords of Plowshares and do you remember how I was saying how our opponent was kind of bad? My opponent was so bad that they F6'd through their turn and discarded a land. I have nothing else to say. Okay. So, just kind of thinking about the metagame right now, this is kind of a good meta deck, right? Like, looking at the sideboard here, like, this set of tools that you have is just absolutely disgusting against a deck like Death and Taxes. And, like, even in the main deck, you have room for a Toxic Deluge, a Lily Last Hope, a Golgari Charm. Like, I definitely like some of the main deck inclusions here. And Chameleon Colossus and Vinemare were just absolutely crippling bullets against Grixis control. Which is probably one of the better decks of the moment. So let's talk about things I don't like. This Exploration's bad. It just needs to go. Like, I never in this league played more than one land with it. I only once or twice in the other games that I've played more than one land with it. So a lot of the times when Exploration is good, it's win more because like you're already like having Tracker and you're like drawing a bunch of cards. It doesn't matter if you're only making one land drop a turn in a lot of cases. So I think this card is win more and needs to go. I think the crop rotations were medium. Like, there's some good things to look for. Like, Bojuka Bog for a blowout is theoretically good. You know, getting Caracas for a combo matchup is theoretically good. And just, like, access to Tower and Stronghold is fine. But there were a lot of times where this kind of sat in my hand. It doesn't mean it's wrong, but I'm not overly sold on this. I liked a lot of the things that I saw. I wonder if this Exploration should be something like a Sylvan Library. Like, I don't know, like, Miri's Guile versus Sylvan Library is another debate entirely. Like, they're different cards. They're both very powerful. As far as other things go, I liked the Titania that I added. The original list had one more piece of spot removal at 2 mana. And I added Titania because that card is sweet and does disgusting things. And I did not regret making that choice. Courser was also something that was kind of medium. Like, if we compare Courser to every other card that's on this side of this line, Courser feels like the worst card. Like, Tracker is gas and card advantage. Eternal Witness gets you back all your good stuff. You know, Lily Last is a Planeswalker, also gets you back your stuff. These are bullets and matchups. These cards are very objectively powerful. Whereas I feel like Courser is just fine. Like, the library manipulation can be good. Like, getting extra lands off the top can be good. But I don't know. I don't know if Courser is good enough. I wonder if something like a Ramunap Excavator could fit into this deck. The answer is probably not without Wastelands, but I wonder if there's something of that ilk that can synergize with the rest of the deck. Like, without Wasteland, Ramunap loses a lot of its power, and, like, there might not be enough fetch lands to, like, objectively want to play that. But I'm curious about that. Quarian Ranger is also kind of medium. Like, at the right times, it's very good. Like, with Tireless Tracker, it's awesome. But I never assembled any sort of, like, Dryad Arbor, Quarian Ranger, like, bounce, make a whole bunch of extra mana shenanigans. So I'd wonder if those could go as well. So I'd say in the main deck, these 4 cards are sort of the things that I question. Sideboard felt pretty good. Like, this stuff craps on D&T. You have a handful of cards for your combo matchups. That's pretty powerful. You have Carpet of Flowers for things like Grixis Control and Miracles, and Scavenging Ooze as sort of a catch-all for your graveyard-based matchups. That's Green Sun Zenithable. I don't really think I'd mess with the sideboard too much. Sideboard felt great. But I don't know exactly what to do with these slots. It is... Okay, and... Sorry, one more thing then. If I cut the Quarian Rangers, that also means that one of the 2 Dryad Arbors should go. So I'd say these are the cards that I'd consider messing around with. Yeah, I think that's everything that I have to say about this deck list. Okay, so couple other closing notes. Number 1, GP Richmond is this weekend. I will be leaving Thursday after work. So that means there will be no Thursday night stream, and there will be no Saturday morning stream. My next stream will be on Monday evening in all likelihood. There is a small chance that a Monday evening stream won't happen due to, GP Richmond, travel plans changing or something like that. But I intend on streaming Monday night. We'll just kind of see where I'm at the end of the weekend. Though, in all likelihood, on Wednesday night, you will be able to catch me doing some commentary over on the Legacy Premier League. I'm not confirmed as a commentator for this week yet, but it's been a tendency. All right, got another comment here from the deck creator. I agree with you on the Courser and the Exploration. Sylvan Library is probably fine over Exploration. Been trying to figure out a better threat to replace the Courser with. Courser gets especially bad against Jace, which is one of the deck's weaknesses already. I will be playing Death and Taxes at GP Richmond. Surprise, surprise. I am not going to post the exact deck list that I am playing. I am currently on Iteration Eta, starting at Alpha, of decks that I've played in the last week, and I'm pretty happy with the deck list that I've come up with. I'm still working on a few small things that I'm testing. I've been trying out some new cards. So, folks, that's all I have for you tonight. Again, my name's Phil Gallagher, and I run ThrabenU University. If you enjoyed what you saw tonight, even though we didn't necessarily win, feel free to follow so you can see when I'm going live. And if you really enjoyed, consider doing something like a donation deck list or subscribing to my channel to support what I'm doing. All right, good night, folks. I hope you had fun. I certainly did.